Greetings to all. My name is Vinay Vishandaran and I would like you to welcome to ED350 Mirco teaching. My ID number is S111613558. My subject matters are technology and food and nutrition. Today I am presenting a micro teaching based on technology. So the topic of this lesson is engineering materials, and engineering materials are classified into 5 different categories. So today we'll be just talking on one material. Then that material is timber. Then we will be learning the functions and the classification of timbers into 2 groups, and the uses and the advantages of timber. So this lesson is based on a year 12 topic, page number 34 to 39. So timbers are divided into 2 categories. The first one is the softwood and the second one is hardwood. So the difference between the softwood and hardwood timber is that softwood are timbers which are obtained from pine trees, and the hardwood are mostly the native trees and the trees which have the poles and the vessels. Moving on, we will be learning the difference between the softwood and hardwood timbers. Softwood timbers produces needle-like leaves. For example, you see a pine tree which has a needle kind of leaves in it, whereas a hardwood have a broad leaves. And also, their seed types different. A softwood tree would have a uncovered seed, and whereas the hardwood would have a covered trees. So these are some difference. Now we'll be moving on to the cross section of a tree. So as you can see, we have a cross section of a tree trunk here. So I will be labeling some of the parts, such as the annual ring and the hardwood. So firstly, this blue part over here is known as the pith. So moving on, we have the hardwood here. So this part is a hardwood and this is a pith. This is the main part for timber, which is mostly used in buildings. And here we have the animal rings, and this is the outer bark, and this is the inner bark. So, and these are, if you see some marks, some cracks on a timber, this is known as the shakes. In addition, we will be talking on the methods of serving timbers. So firstly, there are 2 types of serving methods. The first one is known as through and through or plain, and the second one is known as quartile serving. So I will be showing the description. So for example, this is the logo over here. Through and through servings are just joined straight in a straight line. So this is an example of a through and through serving, where the timbers are sewn. And the next step we have quartile serving. So these are the two different methods of sewing. The first one is through and through, and the second one is cutout sewing. So these the cutout sewing uh, is mostly practiced in the sawmills. It saves the timber for timber from getting wasted. And now we'll be talking on seasoning. Seasoning is a process of removing moisture content from timber, also known as drying timber. So there are two types of seasoning. The first one is known as air seasoning or natural, where natural wind is used for drying timbers. So in air seasoning, the timbers are usually stacked in an orderly manner. For example, they are set up on a log. So this is how a timber is stacked when it is in seasoning on. So this type method is known as air seasoning. Next up, we have the clean seasoning. This is mostly used in sawmills, where chemicals are applied to timbers and stored to remove the moisture content from the timber. And now we'll be talking on manufactured board. The first manufactured board is the plywood. The plywood is prepared from thin sheets of timber, which is known as veneers. So these are glued and stuck together, and it is called a plywood. The uses of the plywood are to make furnitures, a coffee table, and chairs, and it is also used in building works and also for building boats. Also used in aircraft construction because it is a light wood. And other advantages of plywood is it is light and very tough. And next up we have the cupboard. Cupboard are mostly used for tabletops because of the size and thickness of it. Next up is the particle board. The particle board are mostly made up of small chips of pines or dust. So this dust and the pine chips are mostly glued together and compressed to prepare a particle board. So this all is for this lesson. So just a quick recap what we have learned today. The difference between softwood and hardwood, and the cross section of a tree trunk, and the most important part, the two types of sewing. The first one through and through, and the second one cutout sewing, and the method of drying timbers. So that's all.